Good morning, Happy New Year, and welcome back to the JBDC Virtual Biz Zone for 2023. My name is Stancia Campbell, and I'm the Partnerships and Events Coordinator here at JBDC. Now, as you will notice, I'm not alone on screen this morning. We actually have a new co-host joining me, and his name is Adrian Williams, and I'm going to allow Adrian to introduce himself.
All right. Hi, my name is Adrian Williams, and I'm elated to be here. I've been a part of this webinar, and I look forward to everything that it has to bring and, the questions, the answers from you afterwards. As you would be aware, the Virtual Biz Zone is the platform that JBDC utilizes to sensitize our entrepreneurs on trending issues and new developments and solutions in the MSME sector. As we begin this March, we will start our focus on an area that has been touted as the #1 issue facing MSMEs: financing. Whether it's access to financing generally, appropriate financing, or managing the financial portfolio of the business, it is all very important to your business operations. This morning's presenter will be exploring the topic of budgeting for business.
So our presenter this morning is Mrs. Shani Duncan Faulkner, and she is the Group Senior Corporate Manager at JMB, the SME Resource Center. And just to tell you a little bit about Shani, through the SME Resource Center, Shani helps SMEs deemed to be high potential by facilitating access to the right resources to allow them to grow and develop throughout their business life cycle. She holds a master's in entrepreneurship from Eastside Business School, that's in Barcelona, Spain, and a BSc from the University of Maryland College Park. She is a Six Sigma Brown Belt, certified in event management and solar business and technical sales. She has over 16 years experience working with small businesses in various industries in Trinidad, Jamaica, and the United States. And so she's well qualified to be sharing with us this morning on this very, very important topic.
All right. Just a reminder that this morning's session is being recorded and will be available on the JBDC's YouTube channel later this week. We also ask that you subscribe to our YouTube channel at JBDC Jamaica and follow us on social media at JBDC Jamaica, and that's on Facebook and Instagram. Also, there will be a feedback link that will be posted in the chat, so do look out for that to let us know your comments and so forth.
All right, so thank you very much, Adrian. We're about to move into the meat of the matter. So at this time, we're going to hand over to Shani, who is going to go through a very interactive and interesting presentation. We invite you to drop your questions in the chat so that you don't forget, but we will take them at the end of the session. So it's over to you, Shani.
Hi, morning, everyone. I am happy to be here this morning. So what I'm going to do today, hopefully, is make the presentation easy and fun, and make sure that you guys understand everything that I'm trying to let you guys know. So my name is Shani Duncan Faulkner, and I am the Senior Corporate Manager for the JMB SME Resource Center. So if you haven't heard about JMB's Resource Center before, what we do is that we help our SMEs and we help to journey them through the stages of development. So through partnerships, we provide solutions based on where they're at in their life cycle. So our partnerships just same with JBDC, if we have clients who need the services of JBDC, we will put them on. Same as JBDC is doing here, in terms of having me come on and speak to you guys about budgeting. So whether you're a client of JBDC, whether a client of JMB Resource Center, welcome. We'd want you to be part of both entities. So what do we do at JMB, at the Resource Center? So what will happen, and this has everything to do with budgeting, let me tell you, because we really help you to come in, to budget your business, to finance your business, to find the best solutions that are needed for you. So you would come in as a client of JMMB, as a SME, we're able to do a needs assessment for you. Then we're able to help you with your business development tools and templates. So when you need to budget, we'll be there to help to say, okay, you know what, these are the best tools and the best templates to help you budget. And I'm going to get to that in the presentation itself. We have discounted rates from partners. So say you come into us, you need help with taxation, you need help with accounting, you need help with marketing. We have a full list of partners within the resource center that would help you move your business to the best level and to the best place that it needs to be. So in our we have calendar of events, we send it out every month. You would have gotten a notice that we have this event happening this morning. So anybody here from the resource center who saw it in the calendar and popped in, saying a special hi to you guys. So we attend and we speak at SMA forums, and then we also want our clients to be able to speak at these forums too. So whenever it's possible, we make sure that it happens. And regular check-ins. I mean, we have to make sure that your business is thriving and that your business is doing well. So we continue to do check-ins with you at all times. Business plans help you to find that right partner to help you write those business plans. And then we have targeted JMMB solutions. So what I want you to do right now is that let us start this off on a baseline. And I want you to give yourself 50 points for each true answer in terms of how well do you budget? So do you have conservative projections, or are your projections a bit unrealistic? So be true and answer this question to the best of your ability. Is it conservative? Because let me tell you, you go into a bank. Yes, we trust that you know your business, but we can also pick up when you're being a little too extra and need to reel it back in a little. So tell me, are your projections conservative? Then, do you have in your budget 3 to 6 months emergency fund? Guys, this is very, very important. We have seen what has happened before. You know, we've seen what happened during COVID. We see that there is a need in your budgeting to have those emergency funds. You know, for me as a woman, you know, when your mom tell you, make sure when you go out, you have your little backup money. So for women, for men now, you all need to understand this, like have your little backup money just in case something happens. Have your emergency funds. You never know what will happen next. Are you paying yourself a salary? A lot of small businesses, they just go, they go, and they're not paying themselves. Paying yourself not only helps you to be able to have your personal separate from your business, but it also helps if you want loans from a bank. Say you want to get a mortgage, say you want to get a car loan. It is easier if you're able to say, you know what, I'm paying myself and this is what I make every month, than have to say, you know what, this is what the business makes. Maybe you could take this from the business to be able to pay the loan. No, make sure that you have that separate so that as a bankers, you can come into a banker and we can easily see. And if not for a banker, obviously for yourself to know how you're managing your money. Another thing is, do you have a diversified income stream? So you have your business, but do your products bring in different income streams? Are you able to export your products? How many different income streams do you have? If one goes down, do you say, okay, you know what? That's okay. That's not doing well this month, but this other side of the business is doing well. So think about that, guys. think about income stream. And do you speak to your financial advisor regularly? That is a huge part of budgeting. You may think, why do I need to speak to my financial advisor? Guys, if we understand what is going on in your business, we can definitely help you and put you on the right path. If you have a loan and you're like, and you're honest with your financial advisor, saying, you know what, my business isn't doing well right now, I need help. So that's our clients, for instance, at JMMB in the Resource Center, they are able to let us know this so that we know how to help them. Do not be scared of your bank. They are your friends. Your financial advisors should be those who you can go to for anything. You let them know what is happening in your business at all times. That's the only way we can properly assist you and be able to help you grow. And if you don't have a financial advisor like that, that means you need to come over to JMMB to be able to get that friendly service. Also, do you track your income and expenses properly? I mean, that's a huge part of budgeting. And we will go into this. So, as I said, we can come back to this at the end, but give yourself your points if you think that these answers are true for you. If it's not true, you know where you have to do the work for your business. All right. Okay, so what is a business budget? A budget simply is a guide to ensure that the budget has sufficient capital to operate and grow, right? It's a financial plan. It's typically for 1 year ahead, and you often put it together based on your historical income and expenditure. And it will pinpoint all the available resources that you have to calculate and spend turnover accordingly. So your budget is used to plan. Guys, if you cannot plan for your business fails. A budget is essential. You need to understand what activities you have in your business that will give you money, and then you have to understand what expenses you have that will take money from your business, so that you would say, okay, you know what, my business is doing well and I can go ahead and expand. Or no, my business is not doing that well and I will need to cut back on certain things. So you have to have a proper understanding of your business, right? So what are the benefits of budgeting? So a budget helps companies make accurate decisions, accurate financial decisions. And remember what I said in the beginning, make sure that you are more conservative with especially your income that's coming in, so that you don't go and say, you know what, well, I think I'm going to make $10 million. No, how exactly are you going to make $10 million? How are those products that you have, those events that you have, how is each going to bring in that specific line item? So you need to really, really think about each line item and put a value to it. And then you could see, well, you know what, based on this line item, it don't really seem like $10 million, you know, it seems like that would probably bring in 6. Or you could be like, you know what, it's actually going to bring in 15. So just make sure that you think at each element for your business, for your budget. A budget will also allow companies to identify areas that can be maximized to increase business profits. And that's exactly what I said, you know, looking at each line item. Having a budget improves processes of accessing finance, in accessing investors. You want to be able to say, you know what, you need money, you want an investor, it may be an equity investor, it may be debt financing. So you need to go to those persons with something that is properly planned out. It enhances the possibility of successfully implementing your strategy. So it leads to everything, it cascades. So you have a good budget, you're like, you know what? Based on this budget, this is my strategy and this is what I need to do. It all ties into your whole business plan, to your whole marketing plan. You can't go anywhere without having that specific budget. And it helps a company to identify and to maximize on return, right? So that is why you need to have a budget in place to be able to do those things. So some tips, right? Some tips when you have to do your budgeting. So what you want to make sure that you do is that you deposit your business revenue to your business bank account. So this will have a lot to do with you keeping your personal and you keeping your business separate so that you're able to see, okay, this is my real budget. These are my real expenses. If you commingle, it is so hard to be able to do that. And then also with the tools that I will show you that you can use, you can't mix it up. If you mix up your personal and you mix up your business, the tools don't work for you. So for instance, if you have a business bank account, and I'm going to show you that with JMMB, you'll be able to, on that, be able to track what you're doing in your business, where you're spending your big expenses. So don't mix your revenue with your personal. As I said, use appropriate professional tools to document all transactions, and then you closely monitor time-sensitive activities. So I hope everybody here has tools, but if not, I will show you some of the tools or name some of the tools going forward that you can utilize in your business. So create and monitor. Create and monitor a cash flow projection for a minimum of 12 months. You need to be able to picture, you know how they say you should do a vision board every year. You know, you visualize what you want for your company. You visualize where your cash flow is going to be coming from. If you're able to say, you know what, if I sell X, I'm going to be able to bring in this amount of revenue. You have to put it down on paper and you have to say, you know what, I'm going to target doing this event. I'm going to target buying these supplies. I'm going to target these clients. And then that is now translated into numbers. You need to translate your business into numbers. You're out here to make a profit. Numbers is what it's all about. So, I said before, create an emergency fund. That was the first thing I was talking about. A 3 to 6 month emergency fund. There's no two ways about that. You have to say, you know what, and everybody's reality is going to be different. So based on how much you make, you say, all right, I'm going to take out X percentage of this and put it into my emergency fund, whether it's 5, whether it's 10%, but you're going to build up so that eventually you have a 3 to 6 month emergency fund there for if anything happens. And you know, the more you have, the better, you know. So I will also show you in terms of investments where you can start investing to make money for your emergency fund. So it doesn't just sit there and not grow. That wouldn't make sense. So you create and you review your financial statements. You create an overall target and break it into smaller, manageable objectives. I keep saying it. I think I've said it so many times in this short time that I've been speaking, but you need to create overall targets and then you break it down and make it manageable. Pay yourself a salary, as I said before, for persons just coming in. I'll say it again. pay yourself a salary. That is part of budgeting. There are no two ways about it. You have to be able to do that as part of your business. You have to be able to survive. If you were working a 9-to-5 job, wouldn't you be paid a salary? This is your business. Think like it is a proper business. Don't just be dipping in and out of funds from the business when you need it. No, you know, to survive, you need X amount of money to survive per month. Your business has to be making that to sustain you. And if it's not, you need to find a way for your business to make that to sustain you, right? Identify future projects and sources of funding as early as possible. So that's what budgeting does. It helps you to say, you know what, I need more money this year. And it's going to say, you know what, how am I going to get that money? It really, really makes you think about your business and what you need. It is not just a piece of paper that you take and then you put down and you're like, oh, well, the bank need this. No, everything. I want you guys to start thinking about everything you do is for your business. So for instance, you might say, you know what, with a business plan, it's only my bank need that. So why I have to do that? It's for my bank. No. Everything you think about it. It's for you. It is for your business. It is to make you grow. Don't think about it that it has to be for other people. Don't get into that trap. It's you. It is how you grow. I want you to be able to speak to your financial advisor regularly about the opportunities that can benefit your business. So for instance, with our resource center, we have a resource center club and we have a group. And if one person is having a promotion in their business, is doing well in their business, we're able to post that. So make sure that you're part of a community that really is happy for your business, really encourages your business and is able to network and see and others see what's happening, because a community is always important. And and make sure that your bank has a community for you, because your business grows that way and it's able to make collaborations and make sure that you grow. And once you grow, your partners grow, everybody grows, and it is better for the economy. So you want to make sure that you're part of a community, you're talking to your financial advisor, you're seeing the opportunities. And this all comes from budgeting properly. So open a business bank account for your budgeting purpose. It is necessary to be able to validate the business's performance. And it is also the most reliable method accepted by banks and investors when they're able to see you passing the business operations through your account. And it is also useful to the business owner and to potential investors. So in terms of your business bank account, what you want to make sure is that you have a business bank account that's actually not taking your money. You want to have a business bank account that you can say, you know, I put X in it and that is how much is in there. So you want to make sure that your bank account gives you what you need. So with JMMB, you would see most of our transactions are free, right? So you get your manager's checks, you get your account transfers, you do your bill payments, you do your cash deposits and withdrawals up to 1 million, you have your monthly checking account. So make sure, because when you're budgeting, you're going to have to be like, all right, well, after budgeting this fee that my bank going to charge me. So you have to think about all those things because they add up. So make sure that whoever you're banking with, you understand what their fees are and what you're going to have to take out of your business once you have that fee. But with a JMMB, our Smart Biz SME account, you won't have to budget that in because we have free services for that account, because we understand that the SMEs need to have their money. It's not about taking out fees and charging them for these services, right? So it's fantastic. You have to be able to earn your interest on your money, right? When you put it into a business bank account, it has to be able to work for you. All right. So another thing in terms of budgeting, I was saying that you have to have the tools, right? So make sure that with your business bank account, your statements are able to show how much you've spent on various aspects of your business. So you'll be able to report on your business bank account. So the JMMB Smart Biz is able to show what your spending history is. And that is so essential in having tools that are able to do that for you, right? So you sit and you look at what is happening within the business and what your spending history is going to be. So just think about budgeting as very strategic, all right? So what I was also saying is that, so you need to make sure that your business bank account budgets for you. You need to make sure that you see where you're spending money, but you also now need to have your own software. And I had said from earlier that I would tell you different types of software. So we have Zoho, we have Wave, we have QuickBooks, we have Invoice, Sage, FreshBooks. You guys can look through and see what is best for your business. Right now, I see most clients either using QuickBooks or Wave. So you need to make sure that you have these tools, these accounting tools that will help you manage your business. It's all good and well, you get an invoice, you have it in the book, you put it into Excel, but why not make it automated? A lot of this software is free. You know, there are different capabilities and add-ons that you can put. So as you see your business growing and expanding, you say, okay, you know, at this point, I could pay for this, right? But just make sure that you have that software in place. All right. So the budget now. So you're here, you're planning your budget. You're saying, okay, how am I going to do this? First thing, you come, you say, you know what? I'm going to be realistic. That's the first thing that you have to do. So whatever you put on that paper, you have to be realistic, because you're going to say, you're either going to think that you're a failure when it doesn't happen, or you're going to think that, oh, I am this big superhero, I got this, I blew it, you know, I blew it out of the park. So just be realistic. At the end of the day, how do you want to feel? You know, how would it translate to you when you say, you know what, I didn't do that at all, and I feel like I just can't work, this can't happen. Be realistic. Review it frequently. So it's not that you put a budget together and you're like, you know what, budget that done, I can't change it. No, change your budget. If something happens and you realize, you know what, that's not going to work, or this is going to come in, go back and say, you know what, I need to tweak these numbers and I need to review it and make sure that it is right. So another thing that I see clients do, and I used to do it, is that I don't record everything. So I would say, you know what, oh, this expense was so little, I can't bother put that into the budget. Then every expense that's little, what happens? It becomes huge. So don't let that happen. Any little thing, make sure you put it in. You get a little income and you say, you know what, but I only sold 2 of those today. Why put that in? Put it in. Everything adds up, okay? So you're going to have your actual, and then you're going to have your projections. So when you look at it, you keep comparing. You know, you use it as a tool as a comparison and say, you know what, while I did this, I didn't do that. And when you keep looking at what your projection is, then you have it in your mind that you have things that you really need to get done, and you put a timeline to it, right? So you're constantly monitoring your cash flow weekly. Just monitor it weekly. See what you're spending on, see what's coming in. Know your business. Do not leave this to an accountant. You cannot leave your money to an accountant, all right? You need to understand your money, first of all, before anybody else is going to understand your money. If you don't understand your money, somebody else could take advantage of you, and that's not where we want to go, okay? So when you have now a job, or when you have to buy items, multiple quotes for any upcoming projects or inventory purchase. Don't go with the first one that comes in, multiple, and continue like this. It's always good to review, you know, and make sure that you are getting the right deal from the suppliers that you have. Don't just stick to a supplier just because. Make sure that you do your research. If you have receipts that are coming in, they're not digital, make sure that you store them in a manner to preserve them. I would rather you all go digital, but you know, if sometimes you just need to write out a little invoice and be like, here you go, fine. But, you know, make sure that you store it properly. Digital is the way to go though. Efficiently monitor your receivables. So anything, all of your receivables, make sure that you're monitoring everything, all right? Utilize, as I said, the accounting software. I showed you guys the different types of software. Utilize it. It's simple. Once you get into it, you'll be able to see that it changes your business so much, and you're able to see, okay, you know what, this is what is actually coming in. You're able to do a screenshot with the timelines and say, you know, in March, that is my busiest period. And maybe September is my down period. What do I need to do in September to make more money? So that in turn, with this last one, will be able to help you identify factors that may affect your income and expenses, right? So utilize that software so that you can do that. All right, so this now is a rule that I want you all to take away from when you guys are doing your budget, okay? So because of the setting and how we are now, it's not where we can sit and say, you know what, line by line, this is what you're going to do. This is more about practicality and your frame of mind and how you think when you put that budget together, right? So as a rule of thumb, 50% will go into essential expenses, 30% will go into personal development, and then 20% goes into your financial goals. And I actually saw this because this is a rule of thumb for life, you know, the 50-30-20 rule, but this is more in terms of business. And I saw it on headoffice.com. And if you all want more information, you all could go there and see what they have to offer, because I pulled it from that website. So think about it in that way. So look at your essential expenses. Your essential expenses should not exceed 50% of what you earn. 50% is what's needed to run your day-to-day business and what is crucial to keep your business going. So those will be your monthly bills, such as your rent, your salary, your phone, your light bill. So put in, I want to see you all in your budget, you start essential expenses. If I didn't do this, if these expenses were not here, my business would not run. I mean, everybody has essential expenses. So that is what you start with. And it should not exceed 50% of what you earn. How are you going to pay for it if you're running up expenses that are 80-90%? then your business is not profitable. You need to manage your business properly to make sure that it is profitable in the end. So just try and use this rule. If some expenses need to be minimized, then you say, all right, this is what I'm going to do. For instance, if you're paying rent and you realize, you know what, based on the services I offer, I could have an online store and that makes more sense. Or I could do a co-working environment and not have to sit and pay rent for an office. Think and strategize for all these line items the best way. In terms of salaries, you know what? Yes, I have to pay myself. I know I have to pay myself. So what happens after I pay myself? Do I have enough money for salaries for staff? Or do I say, you know what? I will outsource and it will be when I need to get that staff that I will do that. So when you're budgeting, think about all of these things. You know, your light bill, that's huge. So with rent and with having a space that comes too, you know, so just think about, do you actually need that space and all of the extra expenses that comes with it. Now, you look at your expenses, you now have to know that you have financial goals. So you must have some sort of goal for your company. The same way you have a goal in life, you have a goal for yourself, personal. What's your goal for your company? How are you going to expand? How is it going to grow? Is it about investing income that you have to grow the business? You know, you need to understand those things. Sit and think with your budget, what is your goal? So I hope you guys are seeing that a budget is not just numbers. A budget is actual goals, it's strategy, it's planning, right? So if you have, so another one for financial goals is if you have a loan, you may consider using funds to reduce your debt. So let's say you want to own 50 million in 3 years. You see, what we sometimes do is we say, you know what, we need this money and the best way to go about it is to get a loan from a bank. It's not always the best way to go to a bank for a loan. Same way you would invest in yourself, you'd invest in furthering your education, you would invest in multiple things. You need to invest in your business. Don't always just go straight to a loan, okay? So you have a plan, you say, I need to make 50 million in 3 years. Consider investing your money. So you start with this amount, you come to JMMB and you say, you know what, this is my financial goal for my business. I want to make 50 million. I have X amount to invest right now. Guys, where to put it? Because in 3 years, I need to have this amount from this amount that I have now. And then we can say, you know what? Put it in a CD. We have a stock account. Put it into the JMMB Emma account. And when new IPOs come out, we'll tell you. Or you have access, you go on and you see, you know what? I will invest in these stocks. You put it into bonds, you put it into mutual funds. There are different ways to grow your business and it just does not have to be loan. And we want you to think out of the box. We want to be able to help you to invest your money and to make it grow for you. All right. So when you're doing your budget, have that in there, you know, have that investment financing in your budget where you could say, this is how I'm going to get this amount of money and it's going to make me X per year. And then depending on your risk appetite, then we'd be able to sit down with you and say, well, you know, you're a bit conservative, so this is what we're going to be investing in. Or, you know what, not conservative at all. We can ramp it up and we can put you into these stocks. So that's why I said from before, financial advisor, make sure they're on your team. Make sure your bank knows what you're doing. We're here to help you throughout the entire process. right? So we did expenses, we did financial goals, now personal development, right? So you take your 50, your 20, your final 30 is for self-care, right? This self-care in business is about personal business development, right? Use it as a way to enjoy the perks of running your own business. You need to travel to those business conferences, and you need to network. Don't think that it's a must. Don't think of it as something like, oh, it's a nice to do. No, no. How are you going to grow your business? How are you going to be able to network and find those people that you need to have a relationship with? Some of you are in a business that you need to take your clients out. You need to take those top clients or your business associates to places that will help encourage them to bring the money to you, right? But when you do that, please remember to keep the receipts and to make it a deductible, right, in your income tax returns, because all of those things, don't think, oh, I have to spend money on them. It's deductible, okay? So make sure that you keep everything, you budget everything. So what you have a day or so to file your taxes, just make sure that all of these receipts were in there when you took that client to the fancy dinner, okay? All right, so you're in your business because you want to make your life easy. So you want better for yourself. So is it that you're wanting better? Is a nicer car? Is it a nicer office? Is it traveling in business or first class? Everybody has different goals that they want. And because you have a business, it does not mean that your personal goals become nothing and it is all about the business. Eventually, that's what your business is there for, to make a better life for yourself. So you need to make sure it is budgeted in so that you can have a better personal development and business development, right? So if you're not spending that, because you might say, you know what, that's not for me at this point. But what you're going to do with it, you're going to put it back into your financial goals. So don't say that, I wonder what to do with that money. Yes, okay, you have excess, put it back now into your financial goals, okay? So you know at each level and stage of your business, what is right for you and how much you should be spending. So always think back about this rule with the 50, 30, 20, all right? So the big questions to know: how much is your business earning? What are you spending your money on? And what are you doing to grow your business? So it will help you determine what is going on with your finances. Remember that your earnings are going to fluctuate every month. So always use a budget, the base as the average for your monthly income. What are you spending on? Ensure your business makes sense for you at your income level. So pay attention to your statements, right? So that's a good opportunity, as I said before, to be able to track all of your spending. Don't forget, if you went to lunch, you put it into your business budget, right? You have to be able to understand exactly what is going on in your business. Are you paying for overages? Are you paying fees? As I said before, JMMB, we're not a fee bank, you know, so make sure that you're not paying those fees with your bank. And then what are you doing for your business to grow? So I said it too before, what we would do at JMMB is that we have our resource center officers there to be able to do a needs analysis with you and to help you manage and budget for your business, right? So in terms of the expense side of your business, marketing, make sure you write these down, you know, and make sure that you're looking at these expenses: marketing, training, operating, equipment, pension plan, employee compensation costs, right? Make sure you're looking at all of those expenses. Some unexpected expenses that will catch a business off guard is expenses associated with disruption. As we saw, lockdown days, right? Fire, effects of natural disaster. So with those things, you want to be able to make sure that you are covered for those. If you know you have that type business, which may be a problem, make sure that you have your smart biz insurance, okay? Because these are expenses, they catch you off guard like that. You're like, oh my God, I did not budget for this and I don't know what to do. Make sure you budget for it. Staff injuries, make sure you have your insurance policy in relation to that. Equipment maintenance, once you have big equipment, once you have any type of equipment, make sure that you have enough funds to cover that maintenance. You don't want to be going on and on and on and on, and then the equipment shut down because you haven't maintained it. Put that into your budget, right? Taxes, as I said, it's coming up. Set aside a portion of your revenue on a monthly basis towards your tax payment. There's no going away from it. It's going to happen. Just set aside that revenue. So you know when tax time comes, you know what? I got this. I have that because I have been budgeting for it, right? So some of the best and worst habits of business owners. Best, conservative. As I said before, you're comparing your actual, you're reviewing those expenses, you're comparing your year-over-year performance, you're establishing specific periods in the year to analyze the business. Worst, you don't monitor, you're not realistic, you're not considering inflation, and you're not accounting for those little items that you call miscellaneous. Oh, it was so small. Worst habits. Okay, so do not fall into the worst. Make sure you're in that best category. And if any of these things are worse, just change your habits. Know from now you need to change it, right? So when you're looking at your budget and considering the sources of income, you're going to look at operating income, investment income, finance income. Operating income refers to the funds generated through normal business, right? It's considered your working capital. So what is coming in from operating your business? Just think about it like that. Then investment income is cash generated from company assets, such as marketable securities or equipment. And then now financing is from investors or via a bank loan, right? So know the different types of income. And as I said before, take it high level, operating, put all your categories. This is how I'm going to get it from operating. This is how I'm going to get it from my investments. This is how I'm going to get it from financing. And financing will always be a shortfall. So if you know you need to make more money, maybe that is when from financing you go to that bank loan or you go to an investor and have that in there, right? So there are different budgeting methods that you can use. And as I said before, this is a high level overview, because when you come in to meet with us, we're going to go through with you and we're going to help you budget and we're going to be more specific. So just showing you these are the things that we will do and we would show you. So your incremental budgeting is ideal for situations where expenses are not expected to increase, right? So you would use that type budgeting style. Zero budgeting, you would primarily use it. If you're a startup, you're starting at zero. Use zero-based budgeting. You don't have anything historical to say, you know what, this is what I did. You're starting at zero and you have to think it out and be realistic. Activity-based budgeting is referred to as top-down budgeting. So you start with assumptions of a revenue target. So if you, as I think I said before, if you know you want to make 20 million this year, you start with that target and work yourself back with those activities that you're going to put in place to make sure that you reach that 20 million, right? Then there's the acquisition budgeting, and this is done based on the impact that they have on the expected revenue or business operation. So it's like, what is your value proposition and what is expected based on how much revenue your business will bring in from operations. So I think too, for a lot of small businesses, thinking it out strategically, I like activity-based budgeting, right? And then if you're a total startup, obviously you start with your zero-based budgeting. But think about it and think about which one is the best for your business. Don't just jump into a budget. Think about it first. Which strategy am I using before I start budgeting, right? So coming to the end, I want to tell you, a budget does not limit your freedom, it gives you freedom. So if you're able to say, oh, I've done this, I understand what I need to do for my business. You're not like, oh my God, what's going to happen tomorrow? I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. No, you're able to say, you know what? I understand what may happen. I understand that if things go bad, this is where I'm going to be. But if things, this is where I'm going to be. It's about it as an ordeal. Go into your budget cycle and think about it as, all right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to think about all the things that are going to make my business successful. I'm going to write it out. I'm going to put those activities. I'm going to put a number next to it. I'm going to understand my expenses. I'm going to understand JPS going to charge me a ton load of money, but I'll be able to make that money and pay JPS. Or you know what? I'm not going to rent anywhere. I'm going to go into a co-working space. So I don't have no light bill. I don't have no water bill. So just think about everything. Put it all into perspective, so that it gives you the freedom to be able to live well, right? So what can we now do for you? So within GMMB, you come in, you're going to get online access to receive your payments and pay bills. So you're empowered with your budgeting. You're going to get a better way to manage your cash. You're going to be able to get better ways to grow and expand your business. You're going to have options to invest your excess cash, and you're going to get protection for key personnel and property. So everything we've spoken about in terms of how to budget and how to do certain things, you will be able to see, okay, this is what is going to happen if I come into GMMB. This is what we will do for you. And then professional business advice. We don't leave you out there. That is what we want to do. We want to see you started at X and now you're at X times 100, 150. This is what makes us happy within the Resource Center, making sure that our clients accelerate and become, as we say, small, big business, small, right? So we want you to be that big business. We want to be able, whatever goal you have, whatever dream you have, let us know. Let us help you get to that dream or get to that goal. All right. So coming to us, what we're going to do is we would recast the business budget based on everything that we've spoken about. Sure, when you come in, you have your base budget, you know what to do, but then we'll be able to, let's see how we can move it forward, right? So once you've recasted it based on how I've spoken with you today in terms of how to think about it, you recast it based on those tips, you contact us, and then we're able to offer you advice, offer you assistance, and we will figure it out for you at every stage in your business. So that is how we want you to think. And then we want you to be empowered, and we want you to come into JMMB and make your business thrive, make it go forward with everything that you need, right? So it's as easy to do. We're here for you. All right. So I'll open it up. So if you guys have any questions or anything that you want me to, go over, right?
Yes, we do thank Mrs. Shani Duncan Faulkner for, delivering this plethora of information. This is information overload, guys. If it's this information, you probably would have to pay some thousands of dollars for not courses, but guess what? You got it right here at the virtual biz zone. So at this time, we're going to be welcoming questions. You can type it in the chat, or you can use the raise hand feature. But before that, just to highlight that we have posted the feedback link in the chat. So do go onto that link and leave your feedback. But right now, let's go to the questions. I'm sure some of you have questions, things you'd like to clear up, things you'd like to ask in addition. So go right ahead.
All right, but while the questions are coming in, what I noted during the presentation, Adrian, was that, the presentation was not only for business budgeting, but I found a lot of tips in there that I could use as an individual as well. And one of the things that you highlighted in your budget categories, you're talking about marketing and training, but one of them that jumped out at me was the pension. We find that a lot of small businesses in particular, they do not have this line item as part of their budgeting, and it's a very important part of the budget. And it's so ironic that you mentioned that one, because guess what? Our next Biz Zone presentation is going to be on pension planning, but we're not going to get there yet. We're going to look at the questions that are in the chat. So the first question I wanted to address first, Shani, is from Giovanna Horton, and she's asking if JMMB has a business debit or credit card.
Okay. So our debit card is going to, we had it and then we had to stop it for a little bit, and it's going to be available within the next 1 to 2 months. So it will be available, yes. So just link us back and we'll have it.
Okay, great.
That's the debit card.
Right. So the current debit card that you have is just for personal bankers then?
Right. But we have the debit card for personal, but we will soon have it again for business. So it's coming.
Okay. What Sharifa Balfour wants to know, what are the requirements to open a business banking account with you, with JMMB?
Okay, so it depends if you are just starting out or if you've been in business. So in terms of, we have a list of requirements that we can send out. So it would be make sure you have your TCC. That is one of the biggest things that we find when opening a business bank account, that you need to be able to have your TCC, and then you need to be able to have all of your documentation, your business registration. In terms of it would be different from a sole trader depending from a company. So it's something that we could send out the list of requirements, instead of listing all of them here.
All right. Well, tell us where we can find it. If you have a website that you can share in the chat so that persons can be, aware of where they can go and find that information.
Okay.
While you are doing that, Jacqueline Turner, we noticed that you have your hand up, so we're going to unmute you and ask you to go ahead with your question or your comment.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning, Jacqueline. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, I was just would like to know if there is accommodation for a micro business owner. in JMMB. So would a micro business owner get advice too?
Yes, yes, of course, definitely. Yes, once you set up a business bank account with GMMB, you're able to get all the advice. We know the micros need the advice, of course.
Okay, so I have a Emma account and a regular banking account. So I would be advised to do a business account.
Right, yes, because, and you remember in the presentation, what I said is that we want to see your business fund separate from your personal. So,
Okay,
right, business account, and then you get all the business services.
all right, thank you.
No problem.
All right, thank you, Jacqueline. Another question for you, Shani. Unexpected expenses. Should these be recorded as miscellaneous or what should they be named?
So so they would turn up to be miscellaneous probably, but if you can categorize it, yes, it's unexpected, but then where did it happen? Did you get a light bill that was totally out of whack? You know, did you have it can probably be categorized, but you will just have to put it back into that category. So as I said, a budget doesn't have to be static. You can now go back in and add to it in the category that it should be. But unexpected, when you're budgeted, yes, you can say miscellaneous because you don't know where it's going to come in.
All right. Questions coming in fast and furious, Shani. Let's look at another one. Is there a cost associated to joining JMMB's SME? The resource center, I would imagine.
No, there's no cost associated with joining the resource center. You just have to have a business bank account with GMMB and you're in. So our partners though, if you need information from a partner or access to a partner, we have discounts with our partners. But GMMB services, our resource center officers, just have that business bank account and you're good to go.
Okay, and I also want to use this opportunity to put a plug here for JBDC as well, that we offer a full suite of business development support services starting from concept to market. So you come in with your idea and we can help you to even flesh out the business idea, or you come in and we do the needs analysis or the feasibility study, whatever it is that will be required so that you can determine if the business is something that we can go forward with, how it is that you need to develop. There's a hand-holding program, there's a business mentoring program. So once you visit the JBDC, our offices island-wide are open. You can always go on our website, www.jbdc.net, where you can find all of that information as well. One more question for you, Shani. Someone is asking about the business plan writing information. She wanted to probably engage you in doing a presentation for her. So maybe you can drop your email address in the chat for that.
Okay, and I do have some resource center officers online, so they should also be like the information with the bank account and that should be able to drop it in the chat for everybody.
All right, great. Thank you so much.
And while you're on the thought there about writing business plans, you know, there are persons out there who are fearful, you know, to write business plans and disseminate to other persons apart from themselves or close persons. So what would you say? What advice would you say to persons when writing the business plan and to address this fear that they have to let other persons, strangers per se, know about their plans?
I would say that I would trust JBDC to help them to be able to, you know, put those ideas into writing, you know, and to be able to, you have to be able to trust the person that is writing your business plan. And persons don't want to take your ideas from you. They really don't. They just, their knowledge is in writing. Your knowledge is in execution. Somebody can write a plan, but you have to execute it. So I don't think there should be a fear in that. If you don't write a plan, it most likely leads to failure because you don't understand everything. You don't understand all the risks. So just go ahead, write that plan, let somebody help you. Let a trusted entity help you to write that plan. We don't want to take it from you. We don't.
And sometimes it's an unhealthy fear as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it causes persons to not step out on faith, for lack of a better terminology at this point. You know, you figure that, oh, if you put it in writing, somebody's gonna steal your idea. We are trained professionals, and so we know what it means to be confidential in organizations like JBDC and JMMB. So we don't want to steal your ideas. You can always write them down and share them with us. All right. So someone was asking in the chat, Shani, if we could share the presentation with them. Can we go ahead and do that?
Yeah, man, that's fine. That's fine.
All right. So for the persons who are in the session today, we will email the presentation to you following this, and reminder that the session was also recorded. So you can always have access to it on our YouTube channel that will come on, and at about Friday of this week, you should be able to access it. Okay, Adrian, anything from you?
Well, other than thank you for the time once more, and thanking everybody for joining on to make this what it was.
All right, thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of the day, and remember, subscribe on our YouTube channel. That way you can always access the new content once it's posted, and the feedback form. Please leave us your thoughts so that we know how we can improve for the next presentation. Next virtual Biz Zone will be on the 28th of March at 10 a.m. and we will be discussing pension planning for entrepreneurs. So see you then. All right, bye everybody.